Pregame.com.
All right, guys, this is the fun part of the week where we get to blow off some steam. Rants of the week, Stephen Nover, and yours truly, Marco D'Angelo. Stephen, I'm going to let you go first. Be brief, because I got a bunch of them just to start, but I'm sure we're going to be on some of the same.
I don't think you'll disagree with me on this one. You know, sometimes, rare instances, but when maybe a longtime coach or a popular coach leaves or gets fired, there's usually a riot sometimes, or a near riot. It may be an exaggeration, but a lot of people would be up in arms, a lot of unrest. Well, this is one case where they should be rioting that a coach was hired to keep staying, was not fired. Norv Turner in San Diego.
That was on my list. I don't understand.
Can you please explain this to me?
I can't. And, I do a radio show with Chris Townsend every week, and Chris is from San Diego. And, he says, this has to be the year. It has to be the year. He was so happy whenever I hit my game of the year on Detroit because he thought that was the final nail in the coffin for North.
Didn't Turner. Even show up that game. Didn't even show up.
Maybe, I don't know, does he have some incriminating photos of the owner of the Chargers? Because I don't understand how a guy that has as much talent is there in San Diego and has underperformed continues to stay. And there's already been a precedent set with this organization. You fired a coach after a 14-2 season, and yet this guy is still there. Yeah, that was on my list of rants. I have a long list of rants, but that one was there. There was two coaches that there was speculation, long-term coaches that they could be fired this year. I thought one was going to go, definitely Norv Turner. I did agree. I thought Andy Reid saved his job with the way he didn't lose that Eagles team when he could have, with the way the season unwound for all the hype they had. But I don't know. I can't answer.
Yeah, I have no problem with Andy Reid staying, but I do have a huge problem with Norv Turner staying. I mean, a few years ago, just 2 years ago, 3 years ago, they could have been the best team in the NFL. They could have won the Super Bowl. They underachieved. They get upset in the playoffs. Now this year they had some injuries. They're still the best team in that division. They didn't win the division. How much more evidence do you need to realize this guy is a good offensive coordinator? Yeah. He's not a head coach.
Absolutely. And all you have to say is, how do you not make the playoffs when the other three teams are the Denver Broncos, the Kansas City Chiefs, and the Oakland Raiders?
Those three teams and their ownership, they have to be the happiest, post-Christmas presents. Wow, Norv Turner's still in there. We don't have the worst coach.
Well, let's move on because we've got a bunch. This bowl season, I got to tell you, there have been so many games. It's like every day I get to add a new one. I mean, I went to the Fiesta Bowl on Monday. Great game. You've got the best college football player, Andrew Luck, going to be the number one draft choice this spring. He takes the team, the game's tied, he takes the team down the field, 80, he's moving from his own 20, takes him down the field. You get inside to 20 with 57 seconds left, and you shut the offense down. What's Shaw thinking on the side? I guarantee you Jim Harbaugh would have, if he was still on the sideline, they would not have put that game in the hands of a field goal kicker. Andrew Luck completed 27 of 31 passes. He's not going to throw an interception there. Let him roll out. First, if they play action on first down the way they were gutting, Oklahoma State with Taylor, they're going to walk into the end zone with a touchdown pass. That just frustrated me. And then last night, Frank Beamer. Frank Beamer is a good football coach. That had to be one of the worst coaching performances I have ever seen from him, and maybe, up there with, any game I saw. They totally dominated Michigan last night, up and down the field. And the decisions, he went on a fourth and goal where he could have put the field goal up, which wouldn't have mattered at the end of the game, but they get stopped. They fake a punt on 4th and 1 after you call a timeout. First of all, if you're going to go on 4th and 1, put your offense out there. If you think you can make 4th and 1, put your offense out there, have your best players on the field to try to convert. First of all, you're at midfield. It's a tie ball game. You do not even consider going for it or faking it. I wanted them to punt from the start. You have totally shut down Michigan the entire game. Punt them deep and let your defense hold. You're going to probably get the ball back at midfield and get that shot for the winning field goal. But then to call timeout and come out of the timeout and run a fake punt, please. It was ridiculous.
Yeah, I had an opinion of Virginia Tech. Did not put the game out, though. Why didn't I put it out? Because, damn, I'm depressed with these bowls. I'm sick of these bad beats. In the last 4 days, Marco, I've had strong plays on Tulsa. I thought they were the right side. Lose on the final play. After that, I had Washington. Sure, right side. Lose because the defense gives up and let a running back. They just want to run out the clock. Baylor's just looking to run out the clock. They let the running back just score a 50, 60-yard run. They don't even tackle them. Lose that game. Then big play on Wisconsin in the Rose Bowl. Getting 6. Thought it should have been like a pick-'em type of game. They're fine the whole game covering. Then at the end, they get behind and they end up not covering by a point because Russell Wilson marched them right down. There was receiver fumbles the ball. The ball's just staying right near the sideline. I've never seen the ball. It's right on the sideline. It doesn't move an inch. They lose the ball on a turnover. They don't cover. It just these bowl games. Marco, you spend all this time handicapping, and this isn't some coin flip. This is a lot of time spent. There's a lot of research. It's a lot of talking to people. It's a lot of doing your work, and then you think you handicap the game right. Sometimes, you get bad beats, you lose. Other times, you fall in the mix. They don't go your way. You're just sick of it.
I had all of those, and I had Iowa. You were spared on Iowa. The Iowa was probably the most gut-wrenching one of them all, but I was there with you on every one of those, and yet, somehow, knock on wood, I'm still having a winning bowl. Where, the bowls have been good to me. We've hit the big plays, and, last night, like I said, a push. So, I just think of what it could have been.
Well, Marco, I'm 13-7 in my last 20 college football plays, and I've suffered these bad beats. So yeah, I think of where it could have been, and it's just I don't think they even out. Everybody says, "Oh, stop bitching, they even out." No, if you're a good handicapper, you handicap the games right, you're going to lose on more bad beats rather than get lucky. I will argue that point.
Yeah. Well, it's just like poker. RJ always busts my stones when I complain about bad beats. I said, RJ, I'm only going to have bad beats because when you get your money in good every time, there's only one kind of beat you can have, and that's a bad beat. Yeah. So, all right, guys, we complained enough. We could pick any one of those for the rant of the week. They all are there. But Frank Beamer, I think you win the award this week.
Well, it's the first time he's ever, he's been a pretty good coach, as you mentioned. But, bring up good points with him.
Being a special teams guru that he is, lose that game because of the, special teams.
I know. That's always the check mark always goes to Virginia Tech with special teams.
Sorry, Frank. It's been, you've had a great career, but you're the a-hole of the week. You get my award. Sorry, it's got to do it. All right, he's Stephen Nover. I'm Marco D'Angelo. That was Rants of the Week. I'm coming back. We got Brian Leonard. We'll see if anything's pissing him off. We're going to actually look at an NFL playoff game up next.